Welcome to John Essex Sports Channel. Yes, week 28 of League One predictions. And it's the channel where we look at your predictions, we look at the form, and then I'll give you my guide from that. It's just a little bit of fun, isn't it? So we'll start with Saturday's games. We've missed the Lincoln-Burton game. Cardiff versus Stockport. You must see that Stockport own goal against Rotherham. It goes down for me as the worst own goal, or best if you want. The worst own goal that I've ever seen. Must see it. 3 own goals in that game. 5 goals in total, 3 own goals. Dreadful game. Cardiff getting better. Stockport, I think, just losing it a little bit, and we'll see why in a minute. Cardiff then win, draw, win, and they have started to not drop as many points as they have been doing sort of 6, 7, 8, 9 games ago. So they are definitely improving. 1 or 2 goals though. There doesn't seem to be a lot of goals in this side at present. So let's see. They've got a Tep back, haven't they? So perhaps they can get some goals from him. We certainly couldn't. And then Stockport, win, draw, lose, win. But those 3 wins, Huddersfield 1-0 at home in the league. But then it's a Harrogate Town 2-1 home win in the Mickey Mouse Trophy. And that really wasn't a good game for them. I thought that they really didn't put out a decent effort or a decent team there. As expected, I suppose. Rotherham United, though, that 3-2 win at home to Rotherham, and Stockport were absolutely awful. 3 own goals in that game. Stockport's own goal was a cracker. Must see. Absolutely must see. What are you saying, Cardiff versus Stockport then? 3-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-0, 2-0. I think a lot of you going, well, it's either a draw or Cardiff for you. It is for me as well. We're going to go Cardiff 2, Stockport 1. And we'll move on to Huddersfield versus Bradford. Of course, this is a decent game. It's a local derby. Huddersfield, Bradford. Just say Cardiff are, of course, first, and Stockport are in 4th. We forgot to say that. Bradford are in 3rd. Huddersfield are in 6th. And Huddersfield, really, they've been creeping up the table, but only because the rest of the sides up there seem to be losing points as well. Even like a while ago, Cardiff were doing the very same thing. So we have to think about this in a little bit of a different manner, don't we? Because what we've got here is a Huddersfield side that have done win, draw, lose, win, lose. So they have been losing points, but not at the same rate as the teams above them. So yes, they are creeping up. You're quite right, but they're not. They're still losing points to teams such as the last time out, Burton. 3-1 defeat away to Burton. And you're thinking Burton are improving. I agree, but I think that this team still have a way to improve in the second half of the season, don't they? And we are into it as well. Of course, week 28. Bradford, lose, win, lose, win, lose. They can be up and down, can't they? That last defeat, though, Cardiff City 2-1 at home. I thought Bradford played really well, and Cardiff have been improving as well. I thought that might be a draw. Both of them playing really well, and I thought that was probably the best result. We got that one wrong, and it was a 2-1 win to Cardiff. So, what are you thinking for this derby? Because derbies, the results are out of the form guide is out of your window, isn't it? Huddersfield, Bradford, 1-2, 1-3, 2-0, 2-1. Oh, everybody except for that one person who thinks that Bradford will win 3-1. Oh, no, it was split, wasn't it? 1-2, 1-3, 2-0, 2-1. I'm going to go with, I think Bradford are improving slightly quicker. And because they've been playing a bit poorly as well, and of late they've been playing a lot better. Both teams here can score, but Huddersfield have been finding it the odd games where they just can't seem to get into that box and fire off a shot quite as often as they would like. I think it's going to be Huddersfield 1, Bradford 2, and we'll go to Plymouth versus Luton. Now, this is an interesting one because, of course, this is a recap of replay of the Championship game. So we do have to look at this. Luton are in 7th, gone all the way up to there. Plymouth from bottom 4 have gone up to 14th. So yeah, that seems to have been really invigorated, that team, doesn't it? Plymouth then lose, draw, win. 3 wins have been Burton 3-0 at home, Bristol Rovers in the Mickey Mouse Trophy 3-4 win away. But of course it is that trophy. And Peterborough 1-0 away. Have to say that they did well against that Peterborough side. They have been improving. But realistically, Plymouth have been improving a lot quicker, a lot faster, and that was probably an expected result. Luton Town then win, lose, draw. I've been saying that this side's been improving, and it has been improving. And they've been just getting. I think the look of the Greens has just been running against them occasionally. They've been doing so well. I mean, the Lincoln game, Luton 2, Lincoln 2, and I remember looking at this one. Luton really should have won this one by at least 1 or 2 goals. They really did well. They'll have been kicking themselves when they came out of that one with a draw. And they just seem to have not got the run of the green in these games. Will they get it here? Plymouth Luton. Now, a lot of you are thinking, mixed, aren't you? You're not giving me much choice here. Plymouth Luton 1-2, 2-2, 1-0 and 1-1. And I'm going to sit on the fence like you, but I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Both these teams can score a lot. And I think 2 or 3 goals for these teams is probably quite attainable. So we'll go with Plymouth 2, Luton 2, and we'll go to Blackpool versus Northampton. Now just click that, and Blackpool versus Northampton. Don't know where the goals are going to come from Northampton, really. That is a bit of a worry for me. What we've got is, where are they? Blackpool in 20th, Northampton in 21st. Northampton were well out of the bottom 4, and they weren't looking like they were going to drop into it. But Blackpool, win, lose. Now you've got to look at the teams that they lost against. Port Vale 5-1 away, when Port Vale obviously got a new manager, and they really did get screwed on that one, didn't they? New manager bounce indeed. Bradford City, good team. They lost their 2-1 at home. Ipswich in the FA Cup 2-1 away defeat, and I tell you what, that was a good game for Blackpool, and we know they can play well. They played well against Barnsley, I thought, but again, last time out, Barnsley defeat 2-1 away from home. And you have to worry that, again, this Blackpool side can do so much better. And they have played well in some of those defeats. And I just think the 4-0 win against Rotherham, it should have been sort of 5 or 6. You think that this team can score and they can play well. Will they play here against Northampton, indeed? Northampton, lose, draw, win, lose. Now just look at the game, at the score, at the goals they've scored in these last 6. 1, 0, 0, 0, 4 but against Walsall, and then 1 against Wycombe. They don't seem to be able to score against League One sides. A little bit worrying. Blackpool versus Northampton. They say that Wycombe defeat last time. Actually, they played quite well in that Wycombe defeat. Let's face it. 2, and they scored. So have they turned it around? Because both of these teams want to turn it around. What are you thinking? 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 2-1, 2-0. Yeah, I can see where you're all coming from. I think this is going to be a little bit closer than what you think. I am going to go with one of you. I'm going to go with Blackpool 1, Northampton 0. Do think it's going to be that way round. But I think Northampton can really defend quite well. They have done in the past few games. So let's go to the next game. So from Blackpool, we go to Bolton versus Leyton Orient. Now we have a really good Bolton side. 5th place for Bolton at minute, 16th for Leyton Orient. But again, this is one of those teams that can score, but they just haven't been doing it for me, and they haven't been doing it for quite a long time. However, they've been just getting enough points to stay up there in the chase for the top 6. Can they continue here? Draw, lose, win, draw. You can see the points have been lost, but they're not dropping down the table because the other teams are doing the same. Last time out, a Stevenage 0-0 draw away from home. And again, let's just have a quick scan at that, because the Bolton team usually do fire quite a few. And in here, they didn't even have the shots. Usually they have the shots at least. 7 shots, 4 on target, none in the net. Pretty much similar to the Stevenage team there, but they just didn't seem to get the shots off that we would expect, or have them as accurate as they usually are. So that was Bolton. Or Leyton Orient then, what are they saying? Win, lose, draw, win. So the last 2 games have been win, draw for Bolton, draw, win for Leyton Orient. 2 defeats before those for both of the teams. Last time out, it was a 3-1 home win for Leyton Orient, and this Leyton Orient team actually, with 3 goals, it was a hat trick for Ballard. 45, 65 and 85 minutes for Leyton Orient, and they really did overcome this Reading side, and very, very well. Look, Reading are doing really well at the minute, and a 3-1 win at home, even though it was at home, was extremely good. 15 shots for Leyton Orient, and only 7 for Reading, and they actually reduced Reading to 1 shot on target to their 5. So they did deserve that, and they did a good job in both attack and defence, and actually in midfield as well. So this should be a good game. But Bolton, for me, have something in reserve, and I keep saying that they're going to come out with it. What do you think? Bolton, Leyton Orient, 0-2, 2-1, 2-1, 2-0, 2-0. Most except for one person saying, nobody's sitting on the fence. It's going to be either way. I agree with you. Bolton 2, Leyton Orient 1. I will go to Doncaster versus Wigan next. And we don't know what to get from this Doncaster side, do we? We really don't. This Doncaster side has been right up at the top and slipped down the table very nicely. And at the minute, it's Wigan in 17th, Doncaster in 22nd. They're now in the bottom 4, just 2 points above Rotherham, in fact. So they have really been quite poor. However, where would they be if they didn't have those that last win, I suppose? Doncaster lose, draw, lose, win. Winning the Mickey Mouse Trophy 3-1 against Fleetwood. The Wimbledon, though. They've been going with the run of the green. They had been getting all the decisions, even though perhaps they didn't quite deserve them. And of late, they haven't been getting those decisions, and they've gone back down the table, as you can see. Wimbledon 1-0 win away from home. That was a good game. It was a bit dull for me. Wimbledon got a red card on 90 minutes, but that's not for Joe Lewis. But that's not going to make any difference. Doncaster won it in 90 plus 9 minutes. This game there was 5 shots on target in the entire game. It was boring as shit. I'm sorry, but it was. Doncaster winning it probably just by dogged determination, I'm afraid, that one. Wigan then made some really good acquisitions at the end of summer. I was really impressed by the influx in the last week of summer. I thought they were really cracking. I think they could do really well, but they didn't do as well as what I thought. In the last 6 games, lose, win, draw, lose, win, lose. But the last one, there was a 1-0 home defeat to Bolton. And it was Bolton, like I said, have got some good players. They've got some good attackers. They play some nice, neat football. And for me, that is where we look at Bolton and think, there's so much more that can come from, but so can we get from Wigan. So Doncaster versus Wigan, what are you thinking? 1-1, 1-1, 1-0, 1-1. I'm not going to go for a Doncaster win. I really can't. I am going to stick with the majority here. I could have gone for a 1-0 Wigan win. I was erring on. If you'd have given me a choice for a 1-0 Wigan win, I probably have gone for it. But I'm going to stick with the majority. Doncaster 1, Wigan 1 will go to Port Vale and Exeter. Now, Port Vale, like I say, they have been improving, haven't they? They've changed their manager, changed their form, and it's been lose, lose, win, 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 lose. Now, for Port Vale, let's just have a look at their positions. Sorry, we'll have a look at that first. Exeter 13th, Port Vale in 24th. They've now got 18 points. They're just Rotherham are next, 23rd with 24. So they're only a couple of wins away from us. Can they catch us up? Well, in our form, probably they could. The last game for Port Vale was a defeat, 3-0 defeat there to Mansfield. But Mansfield have really turned it around. Port Vale have turned it around. Mansfield turned it around even more. And Mansfield were at home. I think that was probably a fair result. Good game, though. Good game. Exeter City. Exeter City lose, win, draw, lose, win. But that FA Cup defeat 10-1 to Manchester City. What did we expect? Really, what did we expect? He wasn't holding back, their manager, was he? Stevenage 3-0 home win straight after that trouncing. And they didn't need to do that, did they? They really didn't need to. 3-0 win at home to Stevenage. And Stevenage, like I say, they've been playing some pretty crap football. But getting the points, and here they didn't, and Exeter showed them, look, if you're going to play poorly, we're not going to be dragged down to that sort of level. And they managed to stem off Stevenage's attacks, which they can still attack quite well usually, but here, we got 14 shots for Exeter, 7 for Stevenage, 5 on target, 3 in the net for Exeter, 3 on target, none in the net for Stevenage. They were just they were almost playing with Stevenage when Stevenage came forward. Just keep you at arm's length, and they succeeded on most of the occasions. So it was a really good game plan, I think, by Exeter in this one. Port Vale, Exeter. Then what are you thinking? You're thinking 0-1, 1-2, 1-0, and 0-2. So most of you going for an Exeter win. We're going to go to say, I think, though, this is going to be a lot closer because Port Vale have been improving, haven't they? Could they win it? Yes, I think that. I think this is going to be 1-0. I'm going to go with Port Vale 0, Exeter 1, but this quite easily could be the opposite way round as we go to another couple of sides that are improving. We're going to go to Reading versus Barnsley. And believe you me, both these teams have had a bit of a doldrums period. Both of them improving now. Reading in 11th, Barnsley in 15th. And if we go to the last 6 for Reading, it's win, win, draw, win, win, lose. The last one was a Leyton Orient defeat away from home, but Leyton Orient have been just getting better on and off. And I think Reading just happened to hit Leyton Orient at the wrong time. And Reading really couldn't even get out of their own half, really. They played some great football, but they were playing it around in their own half. You've got to get out of that half if you're going to keep passing it around so well. They did pass it around really well, but at the end of the day, it was a Reading defeat. Barnsley then. Let's see how Barnsley have been improving. Lose, 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 draw, lose, win. You might think, well, there's not much in that, is there? Lots of defeats. 4-1 away defeat to Liverpool, of all people. So can't count that defeat. But the last 2 games in the league, a draw against Wigan, which I thought was a dogged, determined, really down-to-earth game, and a Blackpool win 2-1. Now Blackpool are very, very good. They won it in 90 plus 3 minutes, by the way. There was lots of attacking here. Blackpool would have been absolutely gutted they didn't win it, but Barnsley just put everybody back and just kept trying to defend this onslaught by Blackpool. And Blackpool, when they had the ball, which wasn't, it was about 40% of the game, they actually did attack really quickly and straight into the Barnsley out, and Barnsley had to retract really, really quickly, and they did. 3 shots on target for Barnsley, 2 in the net, 6 on target for Blackpool, 1 in the net, and you can see what Barnsley's game plan was. So, and it worked in this one, but you can see why it hasn't worked in some of the other games, because that doesn't always work, especially if they come at you really, really quick. So we're looking at Reading versus Barnsley. Both of them, I think, I have seen an improvement in both teams. Which one do I think's improved most? I think Reading, for me, have slightly improved more than what Barnsley have. I think Barnsley will get back to their own class and their own style, but against this team, possibly not. What are you thinking? I can see what you're thinking. 2-2, 1-0, 2-2, 2-1. Yes, I can see 2 goals, 3 goals, or even 4 goals in this game. I'm going to go with Reading 2, Barnsley 1. This could easily be the opposite way round. It really could. It depends if that game plan is put out again by Barnsley and if it works. Knowing Reading, it may do, but I don't think so. Rotherham versus Wimbledon next, and we have to feel a bit aggrieved for the new manager at Rotherham. He's not getting very well, is he? 8 defeats in a row for Rotherham. Wimbledon 17th, Rotherham in 23rd. Rotherham not looking good at all. The new guy, Gray from Leeds, I remember the first 5 or 6 minutes, every time he got the ball, he'd lose it. So and he was in his own half at that. So yeah, not looking too good, is it? Rotherham lose. Yes, that's it for Rotherham. Wimbledon, of course. Draw, lose, win, lose. But what we've got to look at is Rotherham's inability to score. We scored 2. It was 3-2 defeat for Rotherham away at Stockport. That amazing own goal by the Stockport keeper, belting it into the defender's arse and bouncing in the net. So yeah, very, very good. Must watch it. You really must. 3 own goals out of 5. In that game, and it was dire. Huddersfield 3-0 defeat away from home before that, and believe you me, that should have been 4 or 5 or even 6. Wimbledon though, that draw, lose, win, lose. They're up and down. They really are. They won against West Ham under-21s 4-2 in the Mickey Mouse Trophy, which actually they played quite well in. Leyton Orient 3-1 win away from home in that 5 games, and it was a good game. They shouldn't be winning against a team like that. Orient can play some cracking football and were right up there this time last year, weren't they? But last time out, a 1-0 defeat at home against a poor Doncaster side, and realistically, they should have got something out of it, and they will be bitterly disappointed. However, can they score? Let's have a look at the goals they've scored in the last 6. 0, 0, 3, 0. 4 but against West Ham under-21s and 0. So in the league, not very many. Not very many at all. So Leyton Orient, the 3 was about the only one there. So we're a little bit worried about their scoring. You are as well. Rotherham United versus Wimbledon 0-0, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. Nobody's saying that anyone's going to win this one, and I probably agree with you. Rotherham 0, Wimbledon 0. Next one, please. Stevenage versus Mansfield, and Stevenage the fans were worried about their defence. I don't know why, because Stevenage 8th, Mansfield in 10th, but Mansfield are really rocketing. They really have come back. It looked like they were going to drop into the bottom 4, but Stevenage draw, lose, draw, lose, draw. No wins in the last 6. They don't look like they're going to either. Bolton 0, Stevenage 0, Bolton 0. Bolton really should have come away with that one, but we don't seem to be getting, again, many goals from this Stevenage side. And the defence seems to be a little bit rocky still. just like some of the fans were saying on the internet, and I'd probably still say that's correct for this game. Mansfield then, and you have to look at, they have to fear for Stevenage, don't you? Lose, win, 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 win. And one of those wins was a 3-4 win away at Sheffield United, who at that point were playing really good football. And they did change the side to try and win it. So, they played really well. Port Vale 3-0 home win then again for Mansfield against Port Vale, and Port Vale have been improving a hell of a lot. They inflicted Port Vale's first defeat in, was it 4 games? So, hey, they've done really, really well, this Mansfield side, and really turned it round for me. Stevenage, Mansfield, what are you thinking? Surely you're all you're not, you're not. You're actually on the fence, and I can't believe you're doing this to me. Stevenage, Mansfield, 0-1, 1-0, 1-1, 0-1. It must be a Mansfield win, mustn't it? I can't go with No, and I don't even think it's going to be a draw. I think going to go with Stevenage 0, Mansfield 1. We'll agree with two of you as we go to the last game, which is indeed Wycombe versus Peterborough. Now, Wycombe, of course, are used to being right up there at the top, but they're very, very good with their financials, aren't they? Wycombe in 9th, Peterborough in 12th now. They really have been rocketing up that table very, very nicely. They were at the bottom, weren't they? And look where they are now, mid-table. They must be so happy and pleased about that. Wycombe then, win, lose, draw, win. 2 League One games in a row, win. Wimbledon 2-0, but they've been playing pretty drab. And 2-1 win against Northampton, and Northampton can't score. They scored here, which is a little worrying because Wycombe have been known for really good defence. And you can see from there, the scores. They let 1 in, they let 4 in against Luton Town, and they were improving. 1 in against Plymouth, 1 in against Cardiff, none in against Wimbledon, and 1 in against Northampton. Wimbledon can let goals in. The odd 1, the odd 2, but they are quite consistently letting them in. Which is a worry against the Peterborough side that has turned it round. Win, draw, win, lose, win, lose. They won against Rotherham 2-0, but that should have been at least 4 or 5. Plymouth 1-0 defeat last time out, but Plymouth have been improving. But before that, a win, 3-1 against Bolton, who have such good attacking ratios usually. They're usually so good at shooting. And when they get them on target, they usually convert quite often. So it was a good game. But they didn't seem to turn up against Plymouth. I didn't like the game against Plymouth. I thought that was one where Plymouth just managed to control the game, which away from home is strange for Plymouth. They don't usually do it. What are you thinking? Wycombe, Peterborough, 1-3, 2-1, 1-0, 1-2. No draws, both either direction. Lots of goals, probably agree with you. I think that Peterborough certainly can score. I'm a little bit worried about that back end for Wycombe, but I think that they'll do it here. I think they will let a goal in again. Absolutely. Wycombe 2, Peterborough 1. Please do like and subscribe to John Esser Sports Channel. I'll see you in the next video.